Merry Christmas, Merry Krishna, Kwanzaa, Happy New Year's, Happy. I don't know. I don't really know the other languages. Like I've said before, I do know a little bit of Latin. I do know a little bit of Spanish. Like a word in Lashutseed. Lashutseed is a native language out here from where I'm from. From where I'm from. You guys don't know a word in Lashutseed. Actually, peesh peesh is actually it's a word. I believe that's cat. Yeah, I think it is cat. And then I think Tatanka is buffalo. But yeah, I learned a lot about that in Lashutseed camp back when I was young. But it's not about Tatankas and peesh peeshes right now in life. It's about what you're thankful for in life right now. You know, a lot of people are spending time with their families right now, and that's actually what I'm doing right now. Here at my mom's new place here, and the new place we're at, it's pretty great. I hope everybody's winter break is going fantastic, and if you're working, I hope that's going fantastic too. Maybe you're tolerating your boss a little more for these last couple of days. Maybe you're tolerating your coworker. Maybe your coworker has been looking at your boyfriend, looking at your girlfriend. Maybe you just got to forgive him a little bit, you know. It's a time of forgiving. It's a time of giving gifts. I actually went and got some good gifts this Christmas, actually. I got my little cousin some cool Jordans. I hope she really enjoys them. You know, when I was young, I actually was gifted Jordans from my grandpa and my mom, and they were actually hanging up in his car. They still do to this day. They're little ones, you know, and it's just, you look at it in the grand scheme of things, your feet are like the size of your thumb at that point. Maybe your middle finger, maybe your middle finger, your two middle fingers together. That's about how big a baby foot is. I think I look at my foot. I'm about, if we're gonna do that measurement, 1, 2, 3, 4, about 4.5 middle fingers is about how big my foot is. What if you went to Nike and that's what you had to say? Yeah, 4.5 middle fingers, and they're like, okay, yeah, I got you, bro. Or like they would get like 4 people and put their middle fingers together and maybe like form like a Power Ranger or something, you know? I was a big Power Ranger guy too. I wonder if anyone's out there giving Power Ranger gifts. I dressed up as a Power Ranger when I was young. Always. I was the red one. Hence probably that's why this podcast is red. You know, I got a red phone. I actually have 2 red phones. I've gotten 2 red phones before. I just love the color red, love the color what it represents. You know. But this year, I mean, I feel bad a little bit because I didn't go all out on gifts. And the year prior, so last year, I kind of went really hard on gifts. But this year I didn't. And there's nothing that I don't love anybody any less or any more than I did the year before. But fuck, man, money gets a little tight. And I'm not going to sit here and say, poor me, but I set a budget for the Christmas gifts this year, and I don't know. I definitely did not get as many gifts this year. And I think the thing is, too, I've noticed when I've spent a lot on gifts and when I've spent on little, sometimes when you spend little on gifts, it's almost you get a better reaction to me sometimes. I think people enjoy the thought of getting a gift instead of what the gift really is. It took a long time for me to realize that as an individual, coming from a family who is like super really, like they're really good at giving gifts, you know, and they're really good at receiving them too. It put me in this weird situation where I didn't really know what to feel. When I was a kid, man, we got everything we asked for. I could have put $1 million on my Santa list, and I probably would have got it, to be honest with you. And that's I'm pretty sure maybe some of you who listened and it wasn't like that for you, or maybe it was. But it kind of, when I grew up, I realized that, hey, $100 is an hour of, a day of work for some. And for me to ask for something crazy, like something really insane, like for my mom to, or my grandpa or my aunties to go and stand in line at a fucking GameStop for like a $400 console. You look at that and you're a little bit more appreciative of it, I think. But it took me until I was older, when you're 10 years old, you don't think that way. And I don't expect any 10-year-old to think that way. I really don't. And that's why I always try to spend more on the little kids, at least give them a gift. I always try to make sure like the little ones get a gift. Because the little ones don't even really know at this point, The little ones just look at it as like you thought of them, I think. Because I remember when I was 10 or 12 and someone would be like, oh, hey, Dom, here's a gift. And even if it was like a fucking battery pack and some chocolate, dude, I was good. I mean, I might have been a picky kid when I was young. Maybe a bratty one. But, hey, I mean, look where we're at now, We're doing pretty good, I like to think. We got a new backdrop back here. This is a $455 setup back here behind me, minus about $450. So it's about a $5 setup here. We got this little Christmas present. Presente. I think that is how you say present in Spanish. I don't know, though. But then we got the wallpaper behind us, which is just ordinary wrapping paper. We went blue today. We went with the blue snowflakes. I actually had someone over, my cousin, and we had the futon against the wallpaper, and I told him, I'm like, dude, you got to be careful, dude. That took me like actually 30 minutes to set this damn wallpaper up. I falling down, and it was just ugly. It was hilarious though, but I wish I would have had it recorded. I should have recorded it, done like a time-lapse thing. Some people like to do that kind of stuff, but I didn't this time. But I just want to take this time, it's 9:50 p.m., December 23rd, and say Merry Christmas to all of you. And, I hope everybody's having a fantastic holiday. And maybe you guys are driving to your second place of gifts. Ever done that? Wake up early, go to one person's house, and you go to the auntie's house, and you go to your other auntie's house, and then you go to your grandpa's or your mom's or wherever the hell it is, That's what this is for, Maybe you needed a little getaway time, or maybe it's like January 3rd, and you just wanted to see what I was talking about on Christmas. What I can tell you that happened today when I was going to get some little shopping. Me and my mom went actually over to Big Lots. I had my zipper and it caught my Adam's apple, dude. Yeah, that happens. That's why I don't really like zippers. I'd rather have buttons, but buttons can definitely do that to you too. I remember one time I got this pair of pants and it was just all buttons. There was no zipper. Like you had to button it from the bottom up. God damn, I hated those. Because I could barely count to 10 without, struggling. You tell a 10-year-old or like a 6-year-old to button his pants up from the bottom with no zipper. The top button was already hard enough. You know what I mean? There was a lot of clothes I think I was really hard to deal with. I would dress up as a Power Ranger like every day because it was just easy to do. Yeah, I mean, I would rather be in a silk costume all day than Civilization's outfit, what they wanted me to wear. I was sticking it to the man at a young age. Said I'd rather eat. I'm good with a Happy Meal, and I'd have a Power Ranger costume. That's just how I rolled, A lot of people, I think, did that, though. When you're young, you have no judgment, and you have no worries, and you're not worried about anything. Remember going to school back in time? Let's go back in time together. When you can go to school and you can be unmatching and nobody would say shit. You know what I mean? You could wear stripes, polka dots, and your hair could be purple. And nobody would even care. Yeah, maybe the school bully would say something, but okay, he has problems anyway. The school bully always had a runny nose, or the school bully always had a hole in his pocket. And then he constantly made it my problem. I mean, I was never bullied, but I mean, I'm just saying, like, in the story situation, like, you didn't have to worry about stuff like that. And then what was the age you think that people said, yeah, let's bully this guy because he's not wearing tertiary colors together? Fuck your color wheel. Because guess what? I'm gonna wear khakis with I don't know, something. You can't say anything about it, and that's just how it's gonna go. Build a bridge and get over it. I think that's something people need to do. But New Year's is coming up too. New Year's is about 9 days away from here. 23rd, about 7, yeah, about 8 days away. New Year's plans are always pretty chill. I mean, I'm always the chill guy on New Year's no matter where I go. I will definitely get a Martinelli's bottle and put it in a wine glass and try to act like I'm drinking. Because I get hyper. I'll get excited. And then I'll leave the room and do the corny haven't seen you guys in a year joke. Without fail. Leave the room, come back in, haven't seen you guys in a year. You guys know that one? Yeah, I think I created it. No, it's definitely a dad joke. I'm starting to believe, though, that dads go to conventions. Like, all the dads in the world, and they go to this convention and they make cringy dad jokes. I'm starting to believe that's what they do. They all sit in this big circular table and they say, okay, how can we make a cringy joke? And one guy raises his hands, I got a good one. So, when you're out getting, you're out treating your family to water or dinner, and you say, can I get a round of waters on me? Like cringe jokes like that. Or, drive past and say, how about that weather there, John? It's like that cringe joke. You know what I mean? It's just, I don't even really know where I go with this. And for people who want to come up to me and say, man, well, your podcast don't even make sense, dude. What are you even talking about? Exactly. You made my point. You made the reason of why I do this. Obviously, I have a general idea of what I'm going to do, but you coming up to me, well, what it doesn't make any sense. You kind of just rambled. That's exactly the point of this podcast. You're obviously listening. If you get butthurt, so 1, you get butthurt. 2, you don't like it. 3, I don't even know what the third reason would be. Whatever. You're stuck at a red light and randomly a podcast plays. Boom. You could change it. Again, build a bridge and get over. I was watching this podcast with the King and the Sting, or no, not the King and the Sting, the Fighter and the Kid with Brian Callen, Brendan Schaub, Chris D'Elia, and Theo Vaughn. And this part where he was interrupted and he said, oops, Chris D'Elia. And it was just kind of reminded me of when I was young and we had to interrupt my mom. My mom would, she'd flick us in the head if we interrupted her sometimes. Not abusively, but like just to tell us to be quiet. But then we would like get a leftover. We'd get like some of her coffee if we did that, though. If we like dealt with it. My brother would have like the leftover coffee of my mom's drink sometimes. It's not like my mom would give her him the leftover. He'd like ask for it. He wanted coffee so bad. He wanted to be involved with coffee so bad at a young age that he would like, when my mom would order something, he would definitely get a hot chocolate with it too. And then there was my weird ass who would always want like an Italian grape soda or something like that with no whipped cream. And I was basically just drinking grape soda that was like way over seltzered. But the lady was always cute who handed us the drink, so I mean I would always kind of like deal with it. And it tasted good too. I wanted to be like involved, but then I started drinking water. Been on the water grind a little bit lately. Went and jumped in the water over here in our bay. That went pretty good. Refreshing. But yeah, I mean, my favorite part of the year is just being around family, I think, right now. I think that's just how holidays go for me. Obviously, gifts are cool, but as long as I get to be around the people I love the most. That's the best part about it, you know. Being back home, it just kind of gives you, no matter what time of day it is, no matter how shitty it may be, I'm not saying my life, but like maybe you're having a hard time. No matter how hard it is, you know, regardless, you're there with the people who love you the most. And being in college, you kind of get that taste of, fuck, you're on here on your own when you're really not. You know, you're surrounded by people who want to leave too. You know, they want to be home, so you have a sense of home there, I guess, too. But I guess I haven't really thanked you guys who are listening. And for the average listener, for the DJP fans, and even for the air, the water, whatever, you know. I just want to say thank you for everything. You know, without the people who listen, I wouldn't be doing this today. But actually, you know what? I just fucking lied to you guys. If nobody listened to this, I'd still do it. I'm dead honest. And the likes are awesome, and the likes are cool, and the acknowledgement and all is amazing. But I honestly still think I would do this regardless. If I was the last guy on Earth and I was doing the last podcast, I think that would be really cool to do. Because I just get to talk and be like, yeah, this is what I'm up to today. Today I saw an empty grocery market. I would do it, and I think that's what the passion stems from. A lot of good things are happening in life right now for me personally. And I'm not going to release it to say what anything is out loud in public yet, but there's some great things happening, and I hope some great things are happening to you. You know, wake up, count your blessings, write your fucking goals down. Don't take no for an answer. But anyway, I'm not here to get all fucking sentimental and emotional. I think I do that every part and every podcast too. I don't know, I just kind of do that. The first 10 minutes are always kind of soppy, and then the next 10 minutes I'm talking about pigeons and why they don't fly. But you know what terrifies me, actually, is those worms. Worms terrify the shit out of me. If you want to scare me and you put me in like a bucket of, like you pour a bucket of worms on me, I'd shit my pants. Like I almost shit my pants just saying that scenario. Not too many things scare me. I mean, going to prison would scare me, going to jail would scare me, but I'm not going to do anything to ever get there. That's for sure. I was watching this, there's this experiment of these people who went into jail for no reason. They wanted to go experience it. Count me out. There isn't a dollar amount of money that I would take to go live in jail for 2 months. Not any dollar. Are you kidding me? I think they were doing it for free. I mean, they got on this TV show, so they probably got paid a little bit. But, dude, you're signing up to get your freedom stripped away. You're signed up to potentially get your ass beat, get raped, eat shitty food for 2 months, and count me out. I do not want to go to jail. Just count me out. I would never do a social experiment like that. And I would never do a social experiment like the Stanford prison experiment. Would not do that one either. That one's insane. All people are insane for doing crazy stuff like that. I mean, I've done some crazy stuff. I think the craziest things I've ever done would probably be jumping off a roof into a pool, but the roof was like half a story. So, I mean, that was kind of cool. And then I jumped from a cliff into some water, but that was like, 9 feet? It was like a long diving board. I guess I've done some crazy stuff. I've jumped from a bridge to a river, too. I mean, I obviously saw someone else do it before I did it. I would not be the first one. There was also like another, like you could climb on this bridge. So there's this bridge, and then there's water below it, and then there's like another higher part of the bridge. And those are for the people who want to be like super cool or something. I'm not going up to that because like there's no guard. You have to like crawl up there. Are you kidding me? If I fall down, my clumsy ass, dude, I'd definitely slip. I'd think of like butter and I would slip and I would fall and die. Like, no. So I just went on where there was a path and where it was easy to jump, and then I did it. That was actually like a day after my appendix was healed up with my antibiotics 3 months ago in the summertime. I was just so sick of being cooped up. I was kind of scared being up there too. I was like, well, what if I jump and it kind of like aggravates it? But it didn't. It didn't at all. I live in a place next to a freeway right now, and I live in a place next to a train. And a howling dog. A howling dog. And Tourette homeless people. And obviously, we didn't know that this would happen. But, I mean, the Tourette's guy isn't there anymore. But the wolf or dog or whatever the hell it is out there. And he's howling. Ooh. Ooh. That's what he sounds like. Can you imagine that? It's kind of funny. The freeway might be getting a little soothing. The train has never been smoothing. Soothing, I should say. And for all my people out there who are from where I'm from, that 425, that 360, you know, they know you can hear the train wherever you are. Wherever you go, you think you're on the top of a mountain, you're still going to hear the 425 train. It's just how it goes. I mean, when I go to college, I still hear it a little bit, to be honest with you guys. Ho, 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 though. Can we talk about Miss Claus for a second? Mrs. Claus don't do shit. She don't rap. She don't do nothing, I don't think. I don't even think she writes down the addresses. She sits there and makes Mr. Claus or Santa Claus go do all the shit. She can't even, like, co-pilot while he, like, jumps off and, like, puts the presents in the house. Mrs. Claus, how about some help? And people want to say, oh, Mrs. Claus does this and this. Well, I haven't read it in any books or and seen it in any movies. For all I know, Mr. Santa Claus is the reason that Mr. Santa Claus is the one that comes to all the malls. Santa Claus is the one that is everywhere on the parades, and he's everywhere doing. Where's Mrs. Claus? Making cookies? Seems to me like Mrs. Claus is out there getting within the elves or something. I don't know about getting with the elves. I mean, like, maybe they're making cookies. But if Santa likes our cookies so much, like, he enjoys our cookies. So obviously, Mrs. Claus ain't making nothing. I bet you Mrs. Claus, after Santa Claus comes home and, like, he says, man, I had a, rough Christmas, I was only able to give out 2 billion blank Christmas presents in this amount of time. She probably complains. She probably complains some way. Like, well, I had to deal with the elves and them complaining. And I was like, well, where is this Mr. Claus or Santa Claus? Is like, where is this even coming from? I don't know. That was just a rant. I mean, I don't really mean half the shit I say. Sometimes I start a sentence, I don't even know where it's going. I'll just start with or but, and then I just kind of go from there, Favorite Christmas movie? Probably got to be the Christmas Carol with the Scrooge. Really love that one. Ebenezer. Don't be an Ebenezer now. Don't be the guy who's the Christmas Ebenezer. We all know that Ebenezer Scrooge. I have a couple Ebenezer Scrooges in my life, and I let them know, hey, you're being an Ebenezer right now. Some of my buddies, we were talking about getting a tree in our place or something like that, and one of them was like, no, and then we were like, well, we obviously know who the Ebenezer Scrooge is. I love that. I like Elf, but Ebenezer I think has a better story to it. Elf just gets a little cringy to me sometimes. What else do I like? I really like the Christmas. Oh, the Polar Express. That one we'd always listen to or watch as a kid. Then there's I think there was a Christmas Casper movie I watched a long time ago. And for some reason, whenever I think Christmas movies, I think Star Wars, and I think The Haunted Mansion with Eddie Murphy. Maybe it's just because I saw Eddie Murphy on YouTube the other day. But yeah, I do think Eddie Murphy sometimes during Christmas. Shout out to Eddie Murphy, my guy Donkey. This dog is still howling, by the way. I don't know if you guys can hear him in the background, but he is annoying as hell. I'm trying to limit my swearing a little bit on here. I've already kind of accepted the fact that I'm not going to be on SNL for my cussing. But I do know. Well, I guess there's rappers and singers that go on there that have swear before. So I guess they just don't swear when they're on TV. So I guess that's something. But maybe I don't even know. But I can't wait to start getting on other people's podcasts. That would be cool. See what their whole setup is like. Yeah, I got a cool setup here. I really do enjoy it. But yeah, the happy holidays. The malls have been packed. And if you're like me and you get your Christmas presents last second, or your Hanukkah presents, or your Kwanzaa presents, it's packed from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. or however long your malls are open. Believe me, the store you think isn't packed is packed, except Walgreens. Walgreens is always not packed. I went there and printed out some photos and got some gifts. Not a peep in there. Not a soul was at Walgreens. They got a good selection. And this is not an ad, by the way. If Walgreens actually gave me an ad, I'd be surprised. I reached out to a local business over here where I'm from, pizza place, and they shot me down. They told me they weren't looking for advertisers on podcasts right now. God damn it. It's all good, though. They'll regret that. They'll regret that when I'm a millionaire. I don't know what. No, I don't even want to say that. I don't like it when people say when I'm going to be a millionaire. When they're not even doing anything. I've met some people in high school who are like, yeah, but when I'm a millionaire, you're going to be working for me. I'm like, oh, I'm going to work for you? The guy who's wearing Crocs and a snapback, I'm definitely not going to work for you, dude. Get your fucking neon green and your fucking Houston Texans snapback out of my face and go to reality. I'm not working for you, dude. What are you going to invent I don't know what you're going to invent. I am not working for the neon green guy, Croc guy. For sure. Yeah, so next time you're going to be a millionaire, if you're not actually investing, or you're not even doing something that's proactive, you're not even getting a job, then don't even talk, But then there is people who are working their ass off. And they do deserve, I'm not saying you can't hope either. I don't want anyone saying, oh, you're a dream killer and you're butthurt and blah, blah, blah. You know who I'm talking about. You know exactly who I'm talking about. You could tag them in this and they wouldn't even know because they're so delusional. But yeah, man. I mean, I want everyone here, but I don't mean to say, but yeah, man. I mean, but yeah, woman, but yeah, kid, but yeah, child, yeah, beast. You know what I mean? I just want everyone to have a Merry Christmas and happy holidays, and thank you guys so much for listening to the show. I want you guys to know Christmas Eve I will be taking off, and Christmas Day I will be taking off, and New Year's Day I will be taking off. I think it's going to be a much needed break for myself, but the content will be here. I just want you guys to know that I care about you. And if you guys ever need someone to talk to, I always have a DJP hotline, which is 425-320-3641. I don't have a ringer for that phone, but if you guys ever, want to get something off your chest, or you guys want to put it out to the world to hear, that's what I made it for, Leave a voicemail and say, hey, I had a good day. I'd love to hear what you did today, or what you guys could have done yesterday. Maybe you asked a girl out and the girl rejected you, but you feel good because you asked. And you get to say, I asked her. I was actually just in that situation. I'm not going to drop the name, but I asked this pretty lady out, and it didn't go out the way I thought it was going to go. But I get to go to bed at night knowing that I asked him, and that's as good as gold to me. But, yeah, just... if I could be vulnerable on here, I know you guys can too. So I wanted to just say Merry Christmas. It's the end of a decade, I think. I think that's what it is, end of a decade. Right, Mom? Is the end of a decade? Yeah, we're at the end of a decade. My mom's actually in the other room. This is my first time being in a recording room. My mom's in the other room. It's kind of cool. It's like I kind of got a listener. I already have one viewer. But yeah, this has been episode 38, I believe. 38, I believe. I just want to say thank you guys so much for listening, and we are on all the platforms you guys know: Apple Podcasts, Spotify, SoundCloud, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter. We have a TikTok, but we're just getting to that. We're everywhere. We're taking over from all of us here at DJP. Happy holidays, happy New Year's, happy Kwanzaa, Christmas, everything. Thank you guys so much for listening.